I don't know how I feel. I'm having sensory issues, which is a perfect segue into the TMI talk of today's episode. Welcome back to Human to Human. My name is Jess. I took a little bit of a break and I'm so excited to be back. I am kind of easing my way into figuring out the direction I want to take with the podcast, the direction I want to take with my Instagram and my TikTok at Human to Human Pod, and I appreciate your patience as I figure my life out. I'm already a little self-conscious because I got braces. So I start off every episode with a TMI talk where I'm just like oversharing. Usually it's about poo or something like really embarrassing TMI. I mean, if you really need to know, my jean shorts, Hacker Summer, and the thong I'm wearing right now are really bothering me, and I should actually open the door to my bedroom to get some airflow in, but we're rolling, let's get on with it. I got braces a couple months ago only on my bottom jaw, and it makes me talk a bit different. It makes my mouth move differently, which is really good actually because my bottom jaw was getting really slanted, and basically my entire body was slanting to the left. Like, I felt like my right jaw's trying to overcompensate for my jaw slanting, but even when I do work or right now, my other sensory issue is my foot issue, and I ran a 10-kilometer race on Sunday. I'm recording this on Wednesday. My foot is still pretty sore, but I was like limping around the past couple days, and I'm realizing it makes sense. It's my left foot that I was like overcompensating on or putting too much pressure on because I slant my entire body to the left side. So the left side of my body is like taking the brunt of everything, but then the right side of my body is often more sore. Like my right jaw is more sore. I'm right-handed, so like behind my shoulder blade on my right hand side is more sore. It's a lot of things, and I'm neurodiverse. I hate that word. I love you, and I appreciate you just hearing me out with that quick overshare because there's a lot of things going on in my body, and it's a struggle sometimes. And it's okay. We get through. I take a lot of cold showers. I take a lot of baths. It's all good. It's springtime, and I feel like it's a season of really big change. I know there's a lot of change going on in my life. It's definitely the time of year that's breakup season and people like leave relationships. Fall is cuffing season. Spring is definitely breakup season. And I am just feeling the chaotic urge to like change something about my appearance, which every time I tell someone about that, they're like, that's crazy. You literally just got braces. You changed something about your appearance. And I'm like, okay, but like, first of all, everyone who I talk to says that they actually can't even see my braces because I talk with like my top teeth, not my bottom teeth, which slay. So happy about that. And so it's not that big of a physical change, and that's not something I like was excited about. Like I knew I wanted to do it. I like literally took on so much financial responsibility all at the same time. I'm paying for my braces myself. I pay for my life, my rent, all of that. Like, oh, she just turned into an adult. She just leveled up on the game of life. But I'm craving change as in like dyeing my hair, like chopping my hair, but I don't want to do either of those things. For the first time in a while, I'm actually so happy with my hair. I've been growing it out for so long. Looking at old photos of me from like literally last summer, not that old. My hair was so short. I've been highlighting my hair blonde since I was in grade 9. So I'm finally going to my natural color. So I'm like, I don't want to change my hair. Like, you know, when people go through breakups and they're like, I need to change something about my appearance. I'm feeling that right now, but I'm not going through a breakup. I'm going through a big life change, just moved out of my parents' house. So it's like, Jess, aren't you going through enough change? Why do you need to change something about your appearance? But I have the itch. My nose. I have a nose piercing and I have a hoop in my nose, which I've always dreamed about having. But lately I've been like, should I just take it out? But it's like, I do love it. I took a selfie the other day and I was like, no, I love my nose ring. Or I'm more of a silver medal girl and I'm like, should I go gold? But all of these things require spending money, and I'm trying to be selective, clearly, about the things I spend my money on. So let's just get into like, what are we all feeling? What's going on? Why are we craving massive change? Springtime is absolutely this season of change and blooming, and new things are coming. We're all getting a little bit more energetic because, you know, the temperature is warmer and the sunlight is out longer, which I'm actually struggling with. The sun being out longer actually makes it harder for me to like chill and turn off my work brain, turn off my human to human brain, and just like watch a movie. I think I just got so used to the winter time of like once it hits 5 o'clock, it's basically dark, and then that's like your evening to like live your life and you don't need to do work anymore. But now I'm just like so like unaware because my hunger cues definitely help. They give me the gauge of like, okay, I'm hungry for dinner. Let's shut down work mode. But I'm like, the sun's still out. And when the sun's still out, I actually struggle to like chill the fuck out. And I am not sitting here trying to say I want winter back. I'm not trying to say that. But I am just struggling with being a human being and not a human doing. Like I said, hurt my foot and I've been limping around. And yesterday I was on the phone with my boyfriend and I was like, Josh, I'm struggling so hard to just stop doing stuff. I'm about to like go to my cottage and like be out of my apartment for basically a week. So I'm like packing a bunch of things. I want to clean everything. I want to clear out my food. I'm just like being an adult, but being an adult to a little bit of an extreme. And he's like, Jess, you need to sit down and relax. And I'm like, can you please stay on the phone with me until I finish doing the dishes? And then I will like sit on the couch and like force myself to sit on the couch. And then like we'll be done with this conversation. And he's like, yeah, don't tell him. But once I got off the phone with him, I ended up washing my hair and having a shower because I really need to do that. But water helps me wind down. Okay. So I ended up winding down and watching a bit of a shitty movie on the couch. It's okay. I hope if you're struggling with this, you just know you're not alone because my roommate literally told me the other day, she's like, you're quite a busy body. And I didn't think that. It's so cool though, like taking yourself out of one scenario and putting it into another in terms of living. Because living with my parents, my mom sits at her desk 7 hours straight. Not straight. She takes an hour lunch break. But this girl is always like, she has long fingernails and it always sounds like typing away on her computer. So like she's grinding every day. My dad doesn't have a regular desk job, but he is a busybody. If he's not at his desk, he's out at not IKEA, more like Home Depot, or he's at Value Village, or he's in the garage and he's building something, or he takes a quick nap on the couch and then he's up and he's doing something else. And so I'm like just surrounded, or when I live with them, was surrounded by people who are just like moving and always on the go. So I didn't realize that is me. And my roommate's like, yeah, you are very like, you're moving a lot, which isn't a bad thing. She's like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But now I'm realizing too, because I spent a couple days in my apartment without my roommate. Good thing I have a roommate. I don't want to live alone. I do not want to live alone. I am a maniac. Especially because I work from home, I will just like not clean up my dishes because I'm like, I'm about to eat lunch in like 2 hours anyway, because I eat so frequently throughout the day. And then I'm like, going from one task to the other, and then suddenly everything's an absolute disaster. No wonder I was overwhelmed. That makes a lot of sense. And so it's like really nice to just sit back sometimes, stop fucking doing shit. And I've just reflected on like, I don't know. It's good to figure out what you want and what works for your life and your body, and the only way to do that is to experiment and explore different things. And even just spending a couple days alone at my parents' house or a couple days alone at my apartment makes me know that I do not want to live alone. Love my me time. I know when I'm craving it, but for me personally, I'm just like being around other people keeps me in check. It helps me take breaks, it helps me slow down, and when I'm not around people, it's hard for me to have an off switch. And that comes by just trying different things out and just trusting your gut. Which reminds me, I had a really good conversation the other day, and the really big takeaway from it was when people show you who they are, believe them. And this is connected because it's just like the actions you take make up who you are, I think. And so in terms of like relationships, if someone is rude or someone talks negatively about you or someone makes you feel invalidated and it happens again and again, they're showing you who they are. And something that is a toxic trait, but it's a genuinely nice, not trying to be toxic trait. It's like I give people the benefit of the doubt so much and like always want to see the good in people, but it happens to the point where like I end up neglecting my own needs and the things that I want and the things that I'm not making sure I'm feeling good. I'm not making sure that I'm nourished and I'm being validated and I'm feeling seen. And so it's just like bring reminder when people show you who they are through their actions, believe them. Also, it's harder when we live in our own body, and this is why I love living with someone else, is because like she can reflect my actions back to me, because when I'm just inside myself, I can just get on autopilot. But sometimes I need to sit back and be like, okay, let's like go through all the things you got done today, or let's like go through all the things you did today. And when I sit back, I'm like, oh, that was a lot of fucking things. And it's hard because I fall into the 9 to 5 hustle and the societal pressure of like constantly be doing. But sometimes we just need to give ourselves a reality check and be like, oh, I actually have done a lot of things, and it makes sense that I'm feeling tired and I need to sit and take a break. So let's just like allow ourselves that opportunity. Another big thing I've been thinking about a lot in terms of change and life is the fact that we are allowed to rethink things. We are allowed to pivot. We are allowed to like go different directions. And I tried to record an episode and it didn't go live between the break I just took and now. And I think it's because it didn't work out because I didn't really have a clear direction. I felt like I was just rambling, and I forget that like we're gonna live a long life. Like, people on social media and people in general are just like, oh my god, life is short, like, go off. Life is short, follow your dreams. Life is short, like, be bold. And like, agreed, be bold, like, go for your dreams. But like, life is long. Life is long. And like, I'm watching someone in my life like rush into things and like jump from one relationship to another. And I'm just having a moment of being like, just like, let's just like breathe for like a hot minute. We're in this moment of big change. We don't need to like aggressively commit to anything right off the bat. And I'm also saying this to myself because like suddenly I'm like, every Wednesday I want to post a new newsletter or post a new blog post, and every Monday new episodes. And like, we're going to have some grace with myself. And I appreciate you having some patience with me as I figure it out. We're going to derail for a moment because I do want to talk about my blog on humantohumanpod.com. I have started writing again, and well, I'm not derailing. We're just going to like keep on this trajectory because if I try and go back to wherever the fuck I was going to go, my ADHD cannot do that. So we're just going to follow the tangent I'm about to go on, and it will bring us to a great place. Originally, before I even started podcasting in 2019, my creative journey, I mean, we don't need to go way back because my creative journey technically started with like musical theater and shit. But I feel like my creative journey started with writing. It started with writing blogs. I had a website that's no longer live, but I've saved all the blog posts from there. I think I'll start posting them on my current website. And when I took this break for the last couple weeks between posting on this podcast, I started to come back to writing. I started to come back to myself in that form of expression. And I was making things so complicated for myself. I was like, I want to write a book one day. And in order to write a book, I have to write it on a big fucking Google Doc that has 57 pages. And it's like so overwhelming and feels so inaccessible. So I had a bit of clarity and like space while not podcasting to think like, wait, we can actually make things as easy as humanly possible for us to create and, express ourselves in that way. So I'm like, I'm just going to use the notes app on my phone. What the fuck? And then once I wrote something really, insightful or something I felt really expressed how I was feeling, or I just wanted to put that into the world, I put it on my website. And then there's a really easy feature where you can just send an email to be like, alert, new blog post. So you can sign up for those blog posts, for those email alerts in the link in my show notes. I will not spam you. I do not have the energy to spam you. I don't even think I'll be able to do at least like one email a week will be my absolute maximum. But I'm like, wow, we just need to make things a bit easier for ourselves. And also, we need breaks. And in these past couple weeks, I started to like really rethink everything and be like, what is my dream? What do I want in my life? And I had a week where I was thinking that like human to human just like might not be the thing I'm going to work on as much anymore, and prioritize my other job and all that stuff. And I got pretty sad, to be honest. I was feeling a little meaninglessness in life. I was definitely struggling to feel motivated, and it really kind of shocked me. I ended up taking a yoga class of my friend Miriam's, and within 10 minutes of laying in Shavasana at the beginning, because it was a little bit of a reverse class, which was fun, I was like, I need to write again. I need to write again. And then writing again led me to be like, oh, I need to podcast again. And it's interesting to say need instead of want, but it's because like our instinctual creative expression and desires, they live inside of us, and we just need to stop doing so many things and just exist and allow it to come up, because your body will tell you what feels good for you. And it did not feel good for me to think like, okay, I'm just gonna like work a regular job for the rest of my life and not work on my passion. And it's like, now I'm sitting here and I'm like, Jess, you can do both. It takes effort, it takes time management, it takes having grace with yourself on the days that you don't feel like showing up, and also not having to show up all the time. But I was really glad I started to rethink things, and it was really scary actually to rethink for 2 weeks there, like, am I even meant to do this? And then don't worry, but ding ding, clearly I got the sign pretty quickly that I am meant to do this. But we need breaks. We need time off. We need to rest. We need to absorb all the change that's taking place, because it's easy to jump on this roller coaster, which I think I'm trying to do right now, of like, let's change everything. Oh my God, so much change is happening. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. And it's like, whoa, like I needed to take time off the podcast to absorb and get used to my new routine living in my brand new apartment. I needed to take time off the podcast to get more comfortable in the swing of things with my full-time job. And so like, we are not meant to just go, go, go. And in seasons of change, it can feel really overwhelming. Your brain might try and hop on the chaos of it all, which I know I do. And so just listen to the cues of your body. And some cues that my body was giving me was like, I was struggling to get out of bed in the morning. I was dreading when my alarm went off. I was pushing back because I didn't want to go to sleep because I didn't want to wake up and start a new day. I was like starting to investigate where that feeling was coming from. And I felt like it was coming from like this just agony of like, oh, I don't want to like think hardly again, because my life is really on my computer all the time, and I would just be like, I don't want to look at a screen, I don't want to do that. And I ended up realizing the nudge was, you need to keep creating and doing the thing that feels so fulfilling for you, and not just going through the mundane checklist of things that you have to do. Make sure you're still prioritizing the things that you want to do. For example, today is me and my boyfriend's 3-year anniversary, which is fucking crazy. And so I'm taking the afternoon off work, and him and I are hopefully going to go to the beach if it gets sunny outside and the weather is nice. After I go to physio though, because my foot needs some fucking attention. And I've also had to just like lean into being a bit more spontaneous, being a bit more flexible too, because we had a whole plan of what we wanted to do, but then I hurt my foot. So then I had to make sure I got a physio appointment. So now I need to go all the way back to the west end of Toronto, and we won't get to be downtown. And so then I have to pack everything, and it's like snowball effect into anxiety. But like, we can't predict what's going to happen in life. So I think just like leaning into some flexibility is important. But like, think about me last night. I couldn't stop moving and doing stuff. And that's definitely an anxiety response of like, everything needs to be perfect before I leave my apartment. Everything needs to be so clean. And I'm like, Jess, you literally hurt your foot. Like, if your roommate comes home and understands why you didn't vacuum the entire apartment, like, if there's any time she'll understand, it's now. So chill the fuck out, Jessica. And I hope this reminded you to just chill the fuck out a little bit and trust yourself and enjoy the path that you're on. Because again, life is fucking long, and it's beautiful, and it's exciting, and it's awesome. And I love sharing on here. I am so curious what you want to hear from me, because there's lots of things I could talk about, but I want to talk about the things that you care to hear. So there is a link in the there's a link in the show notes on my website. You can submit a question. It's completely anonymous. You can submit a TMI story and we can laugh together, and I will share it, also completely anonymous if you want it to be. And follow me on Human to Human Instagram and TikTok at Human to Human Pod, and join my email list so you don't miss when I put out new blog posts. They're kind of poetry. I feel like they're a little bit poetic. Like the one I put out today, kind of poetic, about time and how it changes and how my days have been going by so fast. And I think it's because I'm doing too much and I need to chill out. So with that, I'm going to go relax before I head on my 3-year anniversary date. And I love you so much. I appreciate you for listening. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss when new episodes drop. I will try to be posting on Mondays, maybe not every single Monday, but I'll do the best I can. Okay, bye.